Have you ever thought about the sand beneath your feet as more than just dust or soil? What if I told you that within those tiny grains lies a spiritual reminder of healing, protection, and even financial breakthrough? Across cultures and across centuries, sand has never been seen as ordinary. In Islam, it carries a powerful symbolism, linked to our very creation, to purification, and to moments when Allah gave us solutions through the simplest of things. Even today, from the deserts of Arabia to the beaches of Africa and Asia, millions believe in the unseen strength hidden in natural elements. Salt, water, and sand are often turned to when people feel the weight of curses, envy, or unseen struggles. They may seem simple, yet for countless believers they become tools for reflection, prayer, and release. Stay with me until the end, because you'll discover how something as simple as sand can hold secrets of healing, protection, and financial blessings in Islam. Comment below. Have you ever used natural elements like sand, water, or salt in your own healing or spiritual journey? Sand in the Quran and Islamic history. When we open the Quran, we are reminded that humankind's very origin is tied to the earth beneath our feet. Allah tells us that He created man from clay and dust, a powerful reminder that the grains of sand we walk upon are not insignificant. They are tied to our beginning, to life itself, and to the delicate balance between weakness and strength that defines human existence. One of the clearest examples of sand's role in Islamic practice is tayammum. The Prophet Muhammad taught that when water is unavailable, Muslims can perform ablution with pure earth or sand as a substitute. This is not just a practical solution in the deserts of Arabia. It is a divine sign that even in the absence of water, Allah placed purification in the dust beneath our feet. Through tayammum, we see that the earth itself can be a source of cleansing, a way to prepare the soul and body for worship. To this day, Muslim communities in regions where water is scarce, from the Sahel in Africa to remote villages in Arabia, still perform tayammum. In refugee camps and desert towns, you can witness believers striking their hands on clean sand, wiping their faces, and standing in prayer. It is a striking image. People turning to the simplest of elements, yet finding complete purification. This teaches us a deep lesson. If something as humble as sand can cleanse the believer before Allah, can it not also serve as a reminder that curses, burdens, and negative forces can be broken through divine permission using the most ordinary things? Sand is not empty. It carries symbolism of renewal, resilience, and hidden power. Notice how even in moments without water, Allah gave sand as a tool of purification. What does this teach us about hidden power in simple things? Type Subhanallah in the comments if you believe Allah hides power in the most humble creations. Sand as a symbol of breaking curses. Across the Muslim world, sand has long been seen as more than a physical element. It is also a spiritual reminder of Allah's power to protect and to heal. In places like West Africa, South Asia, and parts of the Middle East, believers often use sand in their nightly prayers when seeking protection from sihr, black magic, or the evil eye. It is not the sand itself that holds the power, but the way it is combined with dua, Quranic recitation, and faith in Allah. For many, the act of letting sand slip through their hands becomes a symbolic way of releasing burdens, watching curses fall away, grain by grain. In Islamic tradition, scholars have noted that certain protective du'as, when recited with intention, can be reinforced with the physical presence of natural elements, even sand from blessed places. Just as walls and locks protect a home, some Muslims have seen sand as a barrier, a reminder that Allah shields the believer from harm in ways we often cannot see. We also find echoes of this symbolism in the Quran. Pharaoh, the tyrant who defied Allah, was destroyed through natural elements. The overwhelming force of water, the weight of earth, and the burial of his pride beneath sand and sea. His story stands as a reminder. Arrogance, curses, and oppression are always broken when Allah's will commands the elements. So when you hold a handful of sand at night, whispering your prayers, you are not practicing superstition. You are connecting with a long tradition that sees every grain as a symbol of release, purification, and the end of oppression. Kolong. Imagine every grain of sand carrying away your worries as you pray over it. Would you try this at night when asking Allah for relief? Write, Ya Allah, lift my burdens if you want relief from hidden curses or struggles. Financial breakthrough, connection. In Islam, spiritual cleansing and material wealth are often deeply connected. When the heart is weighed down with fear, envy, or curses, the flow of rizq, sustenance, can feel blocked. But when purification happens, whether through prayer, dua, or symbolic acts with natural elements like sand, believers often describe new doors of provision opening. Spiritual clarity prepares the soul to receive worldly blessings. Across the world, in times of crisis, people have turned to nightly rituals involving sand, water, or soil. These acts symbolize planting seeds of new wealth or letting go of financial hardships. In Morocco, some small business owners testify that during periods of struggle, they would sit with sand or soil in their hands, recite Quran, and pray for rizq. For them, the sand became a reminder that wealth, like the earth, can grow from even the smallest of seeds when Allah commands it. This is not without precedent in the Quran. The story of Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam is a perfect example. When he interpreted the Pharaoh's dream of 7 years of abundance followed by 7 years of famine, he taught Egypt to manage wealth through storing grain from the earth. Yusuf's wisdom turned natural elements, soil, grain, harvest, into symbols of divine planning and prosperity. From the earth, financial security was built. Now think of sand itself. Countless grains, impossible to number, stretching endlessly across deserts and shores. Each grain can represent a door of rizq, a reminder that Allah's provision has no limit. Just as no one can count the grains of sand, no one can measure the ways Allah provides. Close your eyes and imagine every grain of sand as a door to rizq opening for you. How many doors can Allah open in your life? Type, Allah is Ar-Razzaq, if you believe He can provide through endless means. Practical night practice with caution. It's important to understand, what we are discussing is not magic, nor is it superstition. It is about reflection, dua, and using the natural creation of Allah as a symbolic mirror for your prayers. Sand is not a source of power on its own. Allah is the only source of healing, protection, and rizq. But sand can serve as a reminder, a tool that focuses the heart and strengthens your intention when turning to Him. Here is a simple framework you can try at night. Take a small handful of clean sand. Sit in a quiet place, free from distraction. Recite Ayat al-Kursi, or the 3 protecting chapters, Surah al-Ikhlas, Al-Falaq, and An-Nas. Hold the sand in your hands and imagine your burdens, curses, or worries being lifted with every grain that slips through your fingers. Make sincere dua. Ask Allah for protection, for relief, and for financial breakthrough. End with gratitude, trusting that He hears you. There are testimonies that mirror this practice. For example, a struggling business owner in Morocco shared how he would pray nightly with sand in his hands, asking Allah to ease his debts and open new doors. Within months, his business turned around, and he credited his consistent dua and trust in Allah, with the sand acting only as a symbolic companion. This isn't about superstition. It's about using what Allah made as a mirror for your dua. Would you try this tonight? Comment Bismillah if you'd like to try this spiritual exercise. Modern, real-life stories. Even in our time, the role of sand and earth continues to appear in powerful ways. In refugee camps across Syria, Yemen, and parts of Africa, when water is scarce and conditions are harsh, many Muslims perform tayammum with the sand beneath them. You see men, women, and even children striking their hands gently on the earth, wiping their faces, and standing in prayer. In those moments, sand is no longer just soil. It becomes a sacred link between their suffering hearts and the mercy of Allah. Modern science is also rediscovering what believers have long known. Connecting with the earth can bring peace. Some Muslim doctors and therapists now speak about grounding, walking barefoot on sand or touching the earth, as a way to reduce stress, calm anxiety, and improve sleep. They highlight how our bodies respond to natural elements, helping restore balance when life feels overwhelming. The Quran reminds us, "And Allah made for you the earth as a resting place," 2:22. Whether for refugees under tents or city dwellers on crowded streets, the same earth serves as our shelter, our prayer mat, and our reminder that true stability lies with Allah alone. Think about it. The same earth refugees pray upon, billionaires build empires upon. Who truly owns the risk? Share your story. Where have you seen sand, earth, or nature give you peace in hard times? As we come to the end of this journey, let's pause and reflect. Sand is not just something we walk upon. In Islam, it is a reminder of our origin, a source of purification, and even a symbol of protection.
We saw how it plays a role in tayammum, how it has been used by believers across the world to break curses and find relief, and how it can represent the endless grains of rizq that Allah can provide. From the Quran to real-life stories of refugees and business owners, we are reminded that Allah hides wisdom in the most humble of His creations. So what can you take from this? That blessings are not always found in complex things. Sometimes, the simplest acts, holding a handful of sand, reciting Quran, and making sincere dua, can open the greatest doors of healing and financial breakthrough. The key is not in the sand itself, but in the sincerity of your heart and the trust you place in Allah, the one who is Ar-Razzaq, the provider. I want to encourage you. Try combining reflection, dua, and Quranic recitation in your nightly routine. And don't keep the journey to yourself. Share your testimonies in the comments. Let this community be a space where we pray for one another and strengthen each other's faith. Before you scroll away, take this moment. May every grain of sand under your feet remind you of Allah's infinite rizq. Write Amin if you want this dua to reach you and your family tonight.